So this is the little new RC390 2022 model. I think it's one of the first ones in the country. And it's a replacement for my 2017 race bike. So I'm running this one in, and I've got to say, out of the box, this bike is really good. So the suspension on the standard one is very ordinary. And this one has just got more adjustable white power shocks front and rear, and just out of the box I haven't made any adjustments at all, and this is so much more rideable. I've also got the Duke 390, and I had to make some suspension changes to that one to make it a little bit more controllable on the street, and as well as using for mini moto. So that was focused as a street bike, but I think this suspension just straight out of the box is just better, and it's so nimble and so fun. The quick shifter up and down, really good. I was reading some reviews where people got some pre-production test bikes, and they said it was very notchy and very agricultural. Well, I've got to say, this one, I didn't have very high expectations, but this has exceeded my expectation there. It's not perfect. I think the best quick shifter I've got is on my KTM 1290. But this is far better than the old BMW 1200 RT that I used to have. So pretty good. On the fly you can switch between the Supermoto ABS and the standard ABS. On the fly you can turn traction control off, but to turn it back on again you've got to stop the bike and put it in neutral. Other aspects, I like the seat, I like the looks, I like the headlights. The handlebars are a little bit lower down with the clip-ons that they've got here now. So the process at the moment is just running this little bike in and during this week, and I've been really enjoying that. And then to take a lot of my racing gear, which is the Olin suspension rear, K-Tech front, transplant that across to here, and the Marchesini wheels, and the Tiga straight through exhaust, the rapid bike module for fuel injection, get the bike tuned up, and then the Sebi Moto full race fairing as well that's coming across from Czech. And I'm really looking forward to racing this little one. But it's so much fun, it's getting me thinking maybe I buy another one for the road and one for the track. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So I've had this bike now 5 days or so, and I've done 673 kilometers. So it's a good fun little beast. Of course, with these little bikes you've got to work the gears up, down, up, down, up, down. But with this improved gearbox, it really is a bit of a pleasure. And we've got the standard tyres on this, which is the Sport Contacts. And I've tried it. I've had one day riding in the rain, and they're pretty good. They're pretty compliant, pretty grippy. Of course I wouldn't want to ride this bike around Australia from a comfort point of view, but having said that, for a sports bike riding position this is pretty comfortable. The seat's comfortable, ergonomics are quite good, and it just really entices you to hook into the corners a bit without killing your shoulders, your wrists, your back. Yeah, I think for a sports riding position, I think they've got it pretty well. So I noticed when I fill the bike right up as well, when we're thinking about range, this bike gets 420 kilometers to a tank, which is just amazing. I think in the old days when I had sports bikes, I had the Fireblade, the CBR 1000s, GSX R1000, generally you get about 220 kilometres out of a tank on one of those bikes. So really your normal sort of ride would only be about 200 k's before fueling up. Be interesting to try this suspension on the racetrack. So I do have that better quality suspension with more adjustability and better pedigree on my old race bike, which I'm going to transpose across to this one. But I wonder how good this would be just as it is coming out on the track, because the track I'm thinking about racing on at Morgan Park is very, very bumpy. So the compliance of this and the fact that this bike just doesn't seem to get upset by bumpy roads. It seems to continue to track the line. You still stay in control the whole time. It just seems like it works. You can just continue to point and shoot. It's comfortable and controllable. But I suppose the big difference is when you're on the racetrack, you're hitting those bumps at much higher speed. So I think a bike that's compliant at road speeds is just going to be too soft at race speed. I like the way when you've got a choice with the display. Instead of having the white display background, you can have it with the night mode, which is the black background. I prefer that. I don't want this thing blazing white with black writing. I'd rather it this way around. And I like the fact that when you turn the key off and on, it remembers what modes you've got selected. So if I've got it in supermoto mode, it remembers that. So that's really good. I hate having to reset your modes every time you get on and off the bike. I think with the little Duke 390, the 2020 model I bought, every time you turn the key on, if you want supermoto mode, you've got to select it every time. Loving this little beastie. So I went for the orange and black coloration, and the blue would look really good, but when I planned to make this into a track bike, I wanted to try to keep the black front mudguard, the black frame, etc. And I really like the setup of this little thing. Okay, bye for now.